Hello, fifth grade. Mrs. Hales here with day 2 of our Frank Stella inspired relief sculptures. Today we're going to be putting patterns and designs on the shapes that we cut out and painted last class. And then we're going to be arranging those shapes and figuring out how high we want them. Do we want them all the same level? Do we want to put some little cardboard tabs underneath some of them so they're a little bit taller, so they stick out a little bit more? That's what I did with these 2 shapes. So if you want to do that, you can put cardboard underneath and kind of glue them up a little higher. And then you need to decide what colors you want to use. Do you want to work with a color theme or a color scheme? Or do you want to put warm colors on top of cool colors that you painted last class? Or do you just want to use whatever colors you are inspired by? It's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong answer. Supplies you're going to need today include oil pastels, Elmer's liquid glue. My glue, the cap isn't working, so I had to use a brush to put my glue on. You'll notice that. Hopefully your caps aren't clogged like mine. And then you need some, if you didn't finish cutting up all your shapes, you'll need some big scissors again. But you really only need oil pastels and Elmer's liquid glue today. Let me show you how to get started. I wasn't super picky about the colors that I chose to draw my patterns in. I just wanted them to contrast with the background color and so that they would stand out. So I picked things like yellow, really white, really light green, or like this really light minty aqua color that I have, and turquoise. And then I just drew different patterns on my different shapes. I have polka dots, I have zigzags, I have checkerboards, and then I have just all different kinds of shapes. I'm gonna leave you with an inspiration page or slide so that you don't have to come up with all the patterns by yourself if you don't want to. These kind of concentric, smaller and smaller teardrop shapes, I just followed the shape of the cardboard that I had cut out. So that's another option for you. Kind of like the Target sign, your circles will just get smaller and smaller as you get in towards the center of your shape. So be creative and have fun with your colors and your patterns. Don't worry about how you're going to arrange them until you get, most of your shapes. I would say, depending on how big they are, 6 to 10 of your shapes with patterns on them. Then we can worry about how we're going to arrange them. Just to do a different variety of patterns, like stripes, concentric shapes, checkerboard, polka dots of different kinds. And then I started to like where I just drew in the center of my shapes. So I did that with a couple different designs as well. Kind of like triangular or pointed design and then a circular design. You can color in your cardboard if you didn't paint it, or you can color in part of it. You don't have to color in the whole thing. You could put a design in the center and leave the edges cardboard color. But just like yellow paint, the yellow color oil pastel doesn't really show up very good on the cardboard. So these are the shapes that I have to work with. Some of them unpainted, some of them painted. And now I'm going to get started figuring out where I want to put them and then gluing them down. So this part is arranging your composition. And this is fun. For me, this is so fun. And just figuring out how you want to arrange your space and be thoughtful about it. You want to fill the space. You probably don't want to put everything on the left side and leave the right side empty. But if you want to do that, you can see what it looks like and see if you like it. You probably want more of a balanced composition. And then you need to play with the height of your pieces or your shapes. So if you have cardboard scraps, you can put them and glue them underneath some of your pieces to make them taller or project out further. You probably don't need a ton of glue. Once your glue dries, the cardboard should stick. You're not confined by the shape of your background piece, so your smaller pieces can extend beyond like your rectangular background shape, like some of mine are. Something else that you may want to consider is if you have any cardboard pieces that don't have any paint on them, you might want to spread those pieces out. Or if you just have one, you might want to put it in the middle because they're going to be a different color, right? So they're going to stand out. I hope you enjoyed making a relief sculpture these last couple classes. I can't wait until next year when we can be back in school together, hopefully most of us, and we can make so many more kinds of sculptures, like with cardboard and clay and all different kinds of paper and all different kinds of things. I'm gonna leave you with a slide that has just some pattern ideas and inspirations on it. See you next time.